Good afternoon everyone, and welcome to my tips and tricks on Thursday. My name is Luccia Visentin and I am an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in Melbourne, Australia. Thank you so much for watching me today. If you do hop on live, please do say hi. And there will be the replay, and I am getting everything slowly onto YouTube as well. So if you do miss this, you know that you can actually hop over to YouTube and find me there as well. Today I am going to continue on with some markers. The reason being is Stampin' Up have a join offer during Sale-a-bration. And the join offer does include, or one option of the join offer does include 2 packets of the Stampin'Up markers. Now the Stampin'Up markers are $62.50 each. So what this offer entails is it's $169 to join, which is our usual join offer. You do get to choose $235 worth of product, and that can be from any catalogue that's available at the moment. It can be the clearance rack, it can be whatever you like. You can pop it towards a cut and emboss machine, so you can do anything with that $235. Option 1 is you get to choose 2 colour families of the Stampin'Up markers, so that is 10 markers in each family. And you can choose from brights, neutrals, regals or subtles. And there is also a stamp set that goes with that. So what you're looking at is $169 to join, but you're actually going to get $228 worth of free product as well as that stamp set too. So if you are looking at placing a large order even, when you do join, you do automatically start with, not on your first order, but after that, after you join, you do get 20% off as well. So even for the 20% off, it's brilliant. But the other thing is just joining a wonderful community as well. So if you are, like I said, looking at placing a large order, now is the time during Sale-a-bration, because this is such a fantastic offer. There is option number 2 as well. So again, the $169, you get to choose the $235 worth of product, plus you can choose an extra $50 worth of product on top of that for free. So like I said, both offers are great. So a really good time to join. But what I will do is we will turn around and we'll get straight into doing a few of these little marker techniques as well. So let me go a little bit closer. Alrighty, here we go. So I have made a card with all of these techniques in it. So it's kind of, no, not overkill, but there's a little bit in it anyway. So what I was going to use today is from the new mini, Terrific Toadstools. It does come with a punch as well. And there are some papers in Sale-a-bration that go with it that you can purchase, or you don't purchase. You can earn for free if you spend up to $100. So let's start off by just stamping a couple of images. Now I am just using my inks, but we will get onto the markers in just a moment. So let's stamp him first. And then we'll stamp this one next. It's a little bit light, but that's okay. We can use him like he is. So with this punch, it doesn't punch out the white around it, like with a lot of the punches. It punches directly onto the colour. Okay, so that's number 1. I'm just going to trim this bit off so I can put my paper up and cut the next one out. So I've just gone up a little bit more. it's going to punch out a whole heap of stuff we don't want, but that's okay. So we've got our two little bits there. We might keep him because I do want to stamp one of these. So what I'm going to do with these, when you punch that, you do get the white around the edges still. So this is one thing we can do with our markers. So once we've punched that, we can actually go round and colour in that white all the way around our edge. This can sometimes happen with the designer series paper as well. So if you're a little bit worried about that and want it to be the right colour, this is where your Stamp Right markers come into their own. It just gets rid of that white edge. So there are our two toadstool tops done. Next one is, and I did show this last week as well, is direct to the stamp set with the marker. I am using the brush end tip. The markers come with two ends, so you've got the brush end, which is the thick end, and the thin end. Now, this is an old marker. I still have some of my older ones, and this is almost like a ballpoint pen tip, whereas the new markers have actually got a proper bullet tip on them. Okay, which is heaps better to use, the bullet tip. But with this one here, I am going to go onto my photopolymer stamp. Now, the thing about photopolymer stamps and direct to your stamp with your marker is the marker doesn't take, sorry, the stamp doesn't take the marker ink that well. It is a lot better with red rubber, but you can do it this way also. So I do want this one the other way round. So that's why I didn't mind that being cut out already. So I'll show you what I mean. See how you get these little bubbly bits in it? And like I said, it hasn't quite taken it down here as well either. But for what I'm wanting, that's actually the look I want. So that's not a problem. I didn't mind it looking like this. So I'm going to go again. And I know the bottom is the bit where I'm starting, where it's not going to take the colour as well, and that's where I want it to be a little bit variegated. So you just work with the markers as they are. So this one here I can now pop up, and we can cut him out as well. Get rid of those little bits. And again, what I can do with this as well is just go around those edges. Now, if you're doing a swap or something, this would probably be quite tedious. But can you see how it just gets rid of the white edge a little bit? Like I feel it does. Just elevate it and give it that really nice, and I am using Early Espresso. So, sorry, espresso, not espresso. I've said that wrong. Okay, so that was one thing there that we can do. So we've done the brushing around the outline. We've done direct to our stamp. I will just quickly clean that off. So another little thing I want to do is I want to have a little bit of paper that matches what I'm using. So one of the papers in the free Sale-a-bration set is this one here. Good afternoon, Joan. How are you going? Oh, it might still be morning. Good morning. I'm wanting to replicate this. Okay. So I'm going to pop that up there. And now I'm just going to use my markers. I might just get a little bit of scrap, which I usually, isn't under there, it's usually under there. Just grab a little bit of scrap from somewhere. I can write on my glass mat, but okay, so I'm just going to go from one side to the other and do some varying length lines. So just petering them off at the ends. And then we'll go in with the, sorry, I haven't even been giving you the colours. So there was Melon Mambo, there was Fresh Freesia, Granny Apple Green, and Pumpkin Pie. And these are all colours that are in the paper. Oh, hello, John. Are you on coffee break? Thank you for joining. John is actually back at work, but he's obviously on a bit of a break. Now, I did notice with this one, they have got a little bit of the early espresso in it. So I am going to use the early espresso, but I am just going to use the finer end. Okay, so I'm looking at that kind of thing. And then all I'm going to do with that is actually use that, but use these Around It All dies. I always get the name wrong. And I'm just going to cut that out. Okay, so we're just going to use a section of that. I'm just going to come up here and grab my Cut Emboss Mini. And move some of these out of the way, because it does actually give a really nice effect. So in actual fact, you're making your own designer series paper is what's happening. I'm going to try and get as much of that in as I can. Pop that through. So what we then have is that kind of thing. So what I also did with this is I just wanted to elevate that a little bit more. And what I've used is my fine tip glue pen. And I've kind of used it like a, I just wanted to make it go shiny. I can't even think of the product that we had. Crystal Effects, similar to a Crystal Effects. So I've just used the glue and gone from one end to the other, just along all of these. And then remembering, when you finish with that, make sure you pop the tip back in. And what that's going to do is just give it that nice sheen, okay? So that's our other little element. And then I have a card base. So this is my card base that I'm going to use. And the other thing that you can do with this is just, and I love doing it. What about what, John? What about, oh, Wink of Stella? Oh, you could use Wink of Stella on it too. I like the fine tip glue pen because it does give it more of a sheen, definitely heaps shinier. And it gives a bit of a bubbled effect as well, a raised effect. which I also quite like. So when we're doing this, often I do go around my cards with a line. So you can either go with the really fine end. Now again, this is an old one, so it's got the real bullety tip. Not bullet tip, more like a ballpoint tip. And because we're using the mushrooms, it's organic. I don't mind if that line isn't exactly straight, but you could also go with the thicker end and do a thicker line. So basically what that's going to do is probably eliminate the need for a mount, because you have got that line going around your card. So we've done that kind of thing. And the other thing, so like I said, I've got heaps and heaps of different little techniques in this one, is just doing a little bit of spritzing on our circle in the green. Okay. And the other thing I wanted was some type of embellishment that I could use, but I don't have anything in the granny apple green is what I was looking for. So I figured what we could do is get our baker's twine in the white, and again we can do the same thing that we do with our blends and actually colour in our twine. So the difference between this and the blends is this will take a little longer to dry. It also takes a little bit more work to get the colour onto it as well, because the blends are a little more saturated. Mind you, that's colour, apart from the end, that's coloured it quite well. So it does colour well. You do just have to wait a little while for it to dry. That would be my only recommendation with that. So they are all our elements that we've used our markers on each element there as well. And then what I have done is this card. So you can see there's the little shimmer in the background there, where I've used the fine tip glue pen. I've got my twine that's coloured. I've gone around everything in the markers as well. We've gone around here. So all of the techniques that we used, I actually do have on here. And like I said, I actually quite liked, like I said, because the marker doesn't go on the photopolymer perfectly, I actually really like that look on the stem, because it does just make it look more natural. So that was my little card, and that little card I did actually get from, so this is our mini catalogue, and on page 12 we do have some sketches, and I've actually used this sketch here. So that's it there, and that's my card. I was actually fairly happy with that. I think it turned out all right, considering I've used so many of those different techniques on there. So thank you, just a little short one again today, but like I said, do appreciate you joining me. I do have a host code if you are placing any orders for this month. Like I said, do check out the join offer as well. If you are putting in a large order, it is a great time and a great deal as well. I do have some classes happening as well. So I have my February class. Now I don't have John with me to check these things, so let me check when it is. Sorry, just got to get my diary out so I can remember the date. So I've got a February online class, which is February the 14th, and we are using these papers here, which are called Floral Delight. Okay, so that one's $45 online, but I do also have a retreat in March, which is $110, and it's on the 8th, and it is already half full. I've only advertised it on a private page, but I will advertise it on this page as well. So if anyone is interested in that, would love to have you there as well, just to get together and craft, which is always really lovely in person. So thank you very much, and I shall see you all on Monday. Have a lovely weekend. Bye.